Welcome back to day 2 of the Asconiata project. I'm going to finish up the motor mounts today. So I went to the store and I picked up some more steel tubing, some more plate, and I still need to pick up a drill bit and a couple other things. But before I can get too far ahead of myself and get everything that I need to figure out what size thread goes for all of these holes. And I have no idea. So what I'm doing is I went to my bucket of bolts, nuts and stuff, and I ended up finding this guy. And that guy fits into all 3 of the holes. No problemo. Actually fits into all 5. And you can twist it all the way down without an issue. So I figured out it's either a 1 1/4 thread or a 1 1/2 thread. Not 1 1/2. 1 1/4 thread or a 20. I don't know what the 20 is, what standard size that is, or whatever, but this is what's going to work. And since I know my local hardware store won't have anything that I need, this is an M10 by 1 1/2. So the plan is to get a die and make this the M10 by 1 1/4 or M10 by 20. I don't know which way I'll go yet. If they don't have one of those, I have an M10 by 1 1/2, so I can just pick up more of these guys and I can bolt it into the engine that way. So I'm going to run to the store and I'll be right back. One other thing that I figure I should probably do is figure out what length I need. So I'm just going to use measuring tape and I'm going to add 6 millimeters to whatever answer I get, and that'll be about the length of bolt that I'll need. So we're going to use that one. That is about 20, so 26 millimeters long. About 30, so 36 millimeters long. And 20. So 26, 26, and 36. Alright, I got some bad news. The hardware store did not have the M10 by 1 1/4 thread or the M10 by 20 standard or whatever it is bolts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my M10 by 1 1/2 tap and then tap all 3 holes. Once that's done, I'll go ahead and test fit the bolts. I got a couple of new drill bits to help bore my plates up. Once I can get that bolted in, we'll go ahead and test fit this engine into the car, get it positioned how I like, and start making motor mounts. So yeah, here we go. Alright, so I took a piece of tape and measured about 2 centimeters worth on my M10 tap so I know when to stop. And I've already done 1 hole already just to figure out what I'm doing and what method works. Because of the limited space that I have available, it is a little difficult to use the proper tool. So I've pretty much just been using it to get a couple threads, and then once that goes through, I switch over to a pair of channel locks, and with those channel locks I finish up the job. So I guess for the next one we'll go for this bottom guy. And the jury says we were pretty much at 30. So this guy should fit pretty much all the way in there. Pretty close. Alright, I'm going to finish up the rest of these and then we'll jump to the next thing. I decided that I wanted to fix all of the studs. So about half of them came out when it should only really be the nut that comes out. So, because I'm crazy, I decided that I was going to fix it. Bam! Check it out. I need to get these cut down to size, but that's the only real issue. Other than that, up down wise, not really a whole lot of play. So, I'm gonna call that a win. Just like the other side, this one's nice and tight. There is up and down movement, but when everything's clamped together, I don't think it'll be that bad. Alright, I'm down to shaping my very last bolt. The other 5 are already in the car and on tight. So I'm going to cut this, quickly bevel the edges. I like to cut or die the thing one more time just to give it the easiest way of going in. It makes a big difference. It'll be a little warm. But that's it. Nice cut, rounded, should give it an easy installation. Sorry about the blur in the last take. I didn't notice that it didn't focus on it, but this is numero 6 for the plates. And that is not moving anywhere. And for the other side, there you go. So, both plates are on. Let's go make some subframe plates. Alright, so the motor is put in as straight as I can get it. And I left myself a bit of room back that way. It's probably easier to see from the other side. In case I need to access anything in back there, it looks like there's some water temp sensors, a couple of them, which is kind of strange. And then also access to the trans housing bolts. What I used to center it is I measured with a second measuring tape from this point to the tape measure, and then on the same thing from the other side. Over here, I laid the tape measure down and then just came straight down to here and did the same to the other side. So that's how I got the reference point straight. And then as far as getting the motor straight, it was a pretty natural inclination just to use the inside of that right lump in the valve cover and to get that just perfect. So now that I have that in there damn good, it's time to get a couple of cardboard templates cut out and then the actual plates cut out and made. So I'm just going to do that, and then the next time that I turn on the camera, that and another piece should be a plate already made. So, wish me luck. Alright, so that's the cardboard cutout that I've made. I'm hoping that it doesn't sag so low like the cardboard is, but rather it will come up something more along the lines of that. That'd be pretty handy. If not, no problem. I can always just take some of the scraps and tack it in temporary, and then I'll build an actual boxed gusset to hold all the strength of it. But that should be one side down pretty soon. Exciting. Alright, how's that look? Disgusting, but it works again. Awesome. So, alright, well, unfortunately during the engine removal from the car, one of the motor mounts did not survive. The tack broke pretty much as soon as we started to lift the engine. Thankfully though, the other mount, it did survive. So since I was worried about breakage, I figured what I would do is go ahead and seam weld the back half of it. Don't think it's going to break anytime soon, but tomorrow when I wake up, I'll go ahead and make a gusset from here to there, and then it won't break. And I'll also have to rebuild the one that broke, as well as get the engine in the perfect position and everything. Thankfully though, I figured out a good system, because before I was just trying to measure things through triangles and it just wasn't working. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for watching and have a good one.